Everything you need to know about research philosophies and research paradigms. Have you ever noticed that two researchers can study the exact same topic but come up with completely different ways of investigating it? Imagine one researcher wants to study students' use of artificial intelligence in school assignments. They create a survey, collect responses from 1,000 students, run statistical tests, and produce graphs and percentages. Another researcher studies the same topic but spends months interviewing students, listening to their stories, understanding their concerns, and exploring how they personally experience using AI. Both are researching the same thing. So, who is right and who is wrong? The answer is both can be right. The difference lies in something deeper than research methods. It lies in their research philosophy and research paradigm. And once you understand these concepts, many confusing parts of research suddenly start making sense. So, today we are going to break down everything you need to know about research philosophies and research paradigms in a simple, practical way that anyone can understand, even if you've never heard these terms before. So, first of all, why does research philosophy matter? Many students jump straight into questions like: should I use questionnaires? Should I do interviews? Should I use SPSS or Excel? How many participants do I need? Those are important questions, don't get me wrong, but they often come later. Before deciding how to collect data, you need to understand how you see the world. That may sound strange at first. You might be thinking, I'm just doing a research project. Why does my view of the world matter? Well, it matters because every research decision you make is influenced by what you believe reality is, how knowledge is created, and what counts as evidence. Whether you realize it or not, every researcher has assumptions about these things. So, research philosophy is simply the study of those assumptions. It is the foundation that sits underneath your entire research project. Think of it like building a house. The methods you use, like surveys, interviews, experiments, are the walls and the roof. Research philosophy is the foundation underneath the building. If the foundation doesn't make sense, the rest of the structure becomes unstable. So, let's clear up one of the biggest areas of confusion: research philosophy versus research paradigm. Many people hear the words research philosophy and research paradigm and assume they mean exactly the same thing. I mean, they are closely related but not identical. Research philosophy refers to your beliefs and assumptions about reality, knowledge, values, and research. Research paradigm, on the other hand, is the broader framework that puts those beliefs into action. I don't know if I'm making sense, but think of it this way: research philosophy is your worldview, and research paradigm is the research strategy that naturally follows from that worldview. Suppose two people want to travel somewhere. Let's look at this. One person believes roads are the safest and most reliable option, and another person believes air travel is faster and more efficient. Those beliefs influence the transportation method they choose, right? So, similarly, your philosophical beliefs influence how you conduct research. And even before understanding major paradigms, we need to understand four key concepts. And these are the four building blocks of research philosophy. Work with me, these are very simple. These four concepts are: 1. Ontology, 2. Epistemology, 3. Axiology, and 4. Methodology. So let's look at them one by one. Ontology. Ontology is just asking the question, what is reality? I mean, it sounds intimidating if you've never heard of it, but the question it asks is very simple. What is real? That is the question. What is real? That is it. So, ontology is about the nature of reality. Now, imagine this situation: a company has low employee motivation, and a researcher steps in and asks, is employee motivation a real thing that exists independently, like gravity? Or is employee motivation something people create through their experiences, beliefs, and interactions? Those are two different views of reality, right? And then we have objective reality. Some researchers believe reality exists independently of us. Whether we observe it or not, it is still there. Just like gravity exists whether we believe in it or not. So these researchers tend to believe there is one reality waiting to be discovered. So that is objective reality. Then we also have subjective reality. Other researchers believe reality is shaped by human experiences. For example, happiness means different things to different people. Success means different things to different people. Leadership means different things to different people. So, from this perspective, there isn't necessarily one reality. There may be realities based on different experiences. Let's look at another simple example here. You can ask 10 students what makes a good teacher, and you likely get 10 different answers. Someone who believes those different answers represent multiple valid realities is taking a more subjective view, and that is ontology. It is simply your answer to what is reality. Now let's move to the next pillar or block, that is epistemology. And the key question here is, how do we know what we know? That is all epistemology is about. Epistemology asks, how do we gain knowledge? Or put differently, how can we know something is true or factual? Imagine you are studying stress among university students. One researcher says we should measure stress levels using standardized scales and numerical scores. Another person says we should sit down and talk to students about how stress feels in their daily lives. Both of these people are trying to understand stress, but they have different beliefs about how knowledge is obtained. One person trusts measurement, the other trusts experience and interpretation. That is all epistemology is about. It is your belief about how knowledge can be created or discovered. Next, we have axiology, which answers the central question, what role do values play? And this is probably the most overlooked concept. So again, axiology asks, can research ever be completely neutral, or do values influence research? Some researchers believe they should remain detached and objective, so they try to keep their personal beliefs out of the study. But others also argue that that is impossible. Why? Because researchers make choices. They are human beings. They choose what to study, they choose what questions to ask, they choose what findings to emphasize, and all those choices involve values. Imagine two researchers studying poverty. One focuses on government policies, another focuses on individual responsibility. Already, their values may influence what they investigate. So, axiology is about recognizing the role of values in research. Then the fourth block, which is methodology. And this one, everybody has some sort of knowledge here. So methodology is all about how will we investigate. And this is much easier to understand. Again, it simply asks, what overall approach will we use to answer our research question? And this includes decisions about surveys, interviews, experiments, observations, case studies, mixed methods, and all that. So methodology is where philosophy becomes action. Again, methodology is where philosophy becomes action. So your beliefs about reality and knowledge influence the methods you choose.